One of my main motivations in being a backyard food producer is to be able to provide good quality organic food readily for myself and my family. And seeing as though we are all meat eaters, I'd ideally like to be able to produce my own ethically treated free-range red meat animals. And like most backyard food producers, space is often our biggest limitation. I'm also aware that in Australia, some of our most invasive pest species also happen to be red meat animals. So some years ago, I decided to get my hunting licence and to teach myself how to shoot a bow. And as I soon found out, it was easier said than done. My mate Shep here is also a passionate backyard food producer, fisherman, and now bow hunter. Although neither of us feel like we can properly claim that title, as we are both yet to get any game animals on the deck.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, it's in the zone. Like, so even if you don't get that zone, like, you're still...
That's lungs.
Yeah. What, that's lungs?
Today, I'm doing my best to share with Shep some of the recent insights I was fortunate enough to get from Aussie bow hunting legend and coach Brad Murphy.
I think that was pretty good. Let's have a look.
And while our main motivation is to harvest some good, organic, free-range red meat from the Aussie bush, we both see the benefits in being confident with our equipment to be able to execute the most quick and humane kill possible.
Before we hit the road, mate, though, are you excited?
Very excited, mate.
Yeah?
Can't wait.
First ever hunt?
First ever hunt, mate. I'm looking forward to the scenery, good bushwalk, maybe a deer or two.
Mate,
Fingers crossed.
can't get much better than that. Weather's favoured us. Beautiful sunrise this morning. Very, very well organised, we think. Packed and ready to go. Seen a little bit of deer sign already, even though we haven't ventured too far off the fire trail. It's a nice country here where we are. What do you reckon, Shep?
Hey! Cut!
He loves it when I do that. Sheppy and I have had the discussion because we're both blokes that like our own space, and we've seen the potential for difficulties. We often do things on our own. We don't mind our own company, actually. Most times we prefer it. So we've had the discussion and we've decided it's a good strategy, and it might save hurt feelings if we have a code word for when we need some space. A bit of alone time. And well, what's the code word, Shep? Yep. So here at Aussie Backyard Food, not only do we hunt, but we also gather. Check this out. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your saffron milk cap mushroom, aka pine mushroom, and a bloody good eating. And as nice as this one looks, will stay well away. There we go, we've just hit the jackpot. We're in mushroom heaven. Saffron milkcap. So that's what we are talking about, people. Check out that specimen. Nice. Things are looking promising. Plenty of prints. There's camp. And there is where we hunt. The Aussie bush. Hard to beat. When you're picking any mushrooms you intend to eat, and you don't fancy hallucinating, and you particularly don't fancy poisoning yourself, to be confident that you've got the authentic type of mushroom. With saffron milkcaps, you often find one of the biggest inconveniences just getting the old pine needles off them, but really it's not too hard to get it like that. And one of the things that differentiates the saffron milkcap is a very orange sort of colour underneath in those veins. Also on top you would see that they're very sort of pale orange, and when you cut them, they look just like that, nice and bright orange in the middle. And when they bruise, you find you get almost a green tinge to the bruising, but other than that, you can't go wrong. Get out there and get into it. Autumn's when you pick them. Find them always under radiata pine. There you go. Get an eyeful of that.
What's that you're having on your breakfast, mate?
It's wheat bix and it's honey made by my mate Sean. He's got these
Looks like good stuff.
and some banana.
Good way to start the day. Good way to
We're
fuel
gonna,
that,
we're gonna need energy,
that
Sean.
hunting energy.
How else we're gonna pour deer out of the bottom of the gully, mate?
I like your attitude.
Right, mate. Yesterday was all about the shrooms. Today, it's venison. Heading out nice and early, day 2. Done all our reconnaissance work yesterday. It's time to get our stealth on. Still smiling a bit.
It was right about here that I realised that my freshly picked and therefore very crunchy homegrown carrots were not the most stealthy lunch option.
Don't tell me you're feeling sleepy again. Bloody awesome. Bloody big buck. Bugger. Well, they're around. That's the second big buck I've seen this morning. We're just slogging it out to get back to camp. Trying to beat the heat. All my camos in my backpack. Just pushing through the scrub and bumped that big fallow buck. Just bedded down, not 10 metres away. It's looking good for tomorrow. Alright, just making final preparations for day 3. Today was successful. First hunting day. Didn't get anything on the deck, but saw some really big bucks. Unfortunately, they're way down deep in the valley below us, and my biggest consideration is in that how I would get the meat out. It would do my head in if I was to leave good quality meat behind at the bottom of that valley. So day 3 is going to require a bit more consideration. We've sussed out another block that's got better access, fire trails and whatnot. That's my plan at this stage. Get my bag packed, get it ready, get out there before sunup and give that block a good crack. What do you reckon, Shep?
Sounds like a plan, Sean.
Day 3, Sheppy and I about to bust out on our plan of attack, Shep.
Go for a bushwalk.
Yeah, alright.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Yeah, so as I mentioned last night, I saw a couple of really nice big bucks. To be honest, I'm a little bit surprised at the size of them. They're like small horses. Yeah, I just couldn't live with just leaving them there to rot and just, you know, simply taking back straps. I've had a bit of a rethink. I'm not totally ruling it out. Maybe there's a way I can get the car a little bit closer. But it's not all about size for me. It's all about the meat. Busting out early. It's my last day of hunting for this session. I didn't do an update last night because there wasn't much to update on. I had a few frustrations getting in close to anything worthy of putting an arrow in yesterday, because the downside with having a section of state forest that is full of fire trails is it can be full of motorbikes as well, which it was yesterday. So I'm biting the bullet and I'm having a go at these bucks that I saw on our first day, on my first hunting day. I'm going to get in there early. I've sussed out the wind direction for the day. Looks like it's mostly coming from the north, so obviously I'm going to go and park on the south side and we'll see how we go. At least I've got the full day today and even the majority of tomorrow to lug some meat out. And it was good to have a bit of a rest day on the legs comparatively yesterday, so they're feeling back to almost normal now. Sheppy's decided to stay in bed, and I don't blame him, because you know, this was his first experience at bow hunting, and he has been surprised at how freaking hard it is. It still surprises me all the time too. Like, you know, even before this trip I was thinking, will I go in there with a recurve? But I think I'll wait till I get my first game on the ground. You know, there's just so much to this game, like just knowing the species as well. It looks like it's pre-rut. It looks like the bucks haven't started rutting yet. They're just hanging out on their own, pretty much trying to establish their own harem, if you like. I don't know, it's probably not the correct terminology. They're just pushing bucks out of their own little gully heads, it seems, just looking to find that little secluded space in preparation, I assume, to start croaking. There's been no croaking yet. Well, we're coming back in 2 weeks, and should it not go down today, I'm sure something will happen then. But there's nothing like getting a result for all your effort. So onwards and downwards into the valley we go. Well, I finally got it done. This goat's only just expired on my way into the valley, and I come across a herd of goats. So being that I haven't got any game animals on the deck yet, I took my chance, and I came away with this nice nanny. She should be good eating. She was quartering away. The arrow came in just above here and exited her right shoulder, and she was down in a flash. The arrow's just actually there. So yeah, she didn't go not 3 meters. So really happy it was a quick kill, and there'll be plenty of good eating out of this animal, rest assured. Now the work begins to pack her out. Viewers, welcome to Hunting Camp Kitchen. We've got Sheppy here at work on some of his homegrown veggies to make a nice salad to accompany our freshly caught goat. Thanks for growing those veggies, mate.
No problem, mate.
Wouldn't be the same without it. And you can take in some of the view that we've got to struggle with here at Hunting Camp Kitchen. Let's get into it. Lovely fresh piece of goat backstrap. So I'm just going to marinate that in some Tuscan spices. That should go nicely with our mashed potatoes and Sheppy's homegrown salad, I think. Have a look at this, folks. Not bad. Freshly caught 3 hours ago in the middle of the Aussie bush. I don't know, I don't reckon it gets much better than that. So now that we've got our potatoes bubbling away there, ready for our mash, it's time to start cooking up our veggies for our camp goat. I've got to come up with a better name for our camp goat here. Any suggestions there, Shep? So we just want to cook our onions until they are nice and translucent. So once you've got your onions to this sort of nice brown translucent stage, using your sock oven mitts, you got to make do when you're camping.
That's a good idea.
You set your onions aside. Now it's time to get to work on the goat. Now it's time to add the Giuseppe's homegrown sun-ripened tomato passata that I made a few months ago. Don't forget to check out that episode. Oh, gee, she's on there tight. You can see what happens when you put your passata in a jar and it's hot. You get that button pop in and you develop quite a bit of vacuum in there, and it can be hard to get your lid off. But that's what stops it from going off in your cupboard. So into the pot with these. We'll just let that cook away and thicken up, and that'll go perfectly on top of Sheppy's mashed potatoes. Freshly sourced, ethically killed, wild goat backstrap bonanza, let's call it, is nicely thickened up now. It's time to serve up, or should I say plate up, as they say in the cookbook. Okay. Let's see how that goes down. Right now, don't really feel like we're roughing it. Not too much anyway. Would be good to have authentic oven mitts. And we're choosing to wine match our goat backstrap bonanza with some specially sourced honey wine mead, otherwise known as mead, from just a underground producer in the Blue Mountains. Doesn't even put labels on them. That's how underground it is. Chip.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. How'd you find your first hunting trip, mate?
It's good. It's a new experience for me, so it was really good. My first hunt ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting back here in a couple of weeks. One thing I got to say though, mate, neither of us had to use the code word once.
Nah, we didn't.
Oh well.
I think we're on the same wavelength. We like being out here, the quiet, our own space. Do what we've got to do together, and other than that, just relaxing and take in the serenity.
Mate, to me this is living. This is living. All packed up, ready to go. Hunting trip, done and dusted. We're gonna have to call it pre-rut. We didn't hear any rut, any croaking or anything, but it's been a good few days away, mate. Thanks for sharing it.
Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, bring on 2 weeks' time.
And as I headed back for home and my family with a bag full of freshly harvested goat meat, I was struck by how good I felt, how calm and clear my thoughts were. Thoughts of my next hunt in 2 weeks and how I might best target those big bucks that I saw deep in that valley. Thoughts of how many dishes I could create with my free-range goat meat. And thoughts of how lucky I am to live in such a beautiful and productive part of this fragile world.